Okay, so it's been about 24 hours, more or less, probably not. But all the texture dried up behind us, from the small patches, the medium patches. We got the large patches down here. And then, so let me flip the camera around and we'll see how well we were able to match the texture by using the sponges, by using the can, and by using the little Wagner texture spray. And then we had to do some hand texture matchup. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so obviously I didn't paint any of these. But the first one we're going to come up to is the sponge texture. And so this one was a little bit more drippy. I think I sprayed it heavy originally. But the texture, I mean down here the texture is a knockdown more. Down here. And I think that's what we did accomplish over here. Again, this was for a small blemish. So I think we tied in pretty good just for using the sponge. Now the second one was more, sorry about the shadows, was more of a medium or a lighter type of texture. So this is the original here that we had. And then that's the tie-in. I think it looks pretty good. Once you paint it, you know, you're not really going to be able to tell the difference too much. Again, this is the sponge. This is for really small things. This is for really small ones. So then moving over, this was a nail pop that we did. Now it's really hard to simulate or mimic orange peel. So this is the orange peel we did with the spray rig in another video. And this is just doing a patch repair. I'm not gonna say it's 100%. Obviously you can tell it's not 100%, but once you paint it, it's not that bad. Now let's move on to the medium size patches. Now if you guys remember, this one is all DAP. It was done with the DAP patch repair kit that I got from Walmart. I only used the compound that it came with. I used the 2-inch and a 3-inch plastic knife. And then I used DAP texture can spray, adjusting it to try to fit it. But I think this one came out really good. It matches really well. So down here is the original coming up. I did have to spray it twice because the compound just sucked it up. The patch sucked it up. So the sprinkles that you see are from the other textures spraying over, okay? But all in all, if you have to do your own repair, I will give my stamp of approval on this DAP patch repair kit. Again, this patch was like 4 inches round. It was a 4-inch round hole that I had cut in there on purpose. And I don't think you can tell at all. You know, and even 1 or 2 coats of regular paint compared to the texture mud that I used, you know, it might actually cover up without any flashing. So, okay, and then moving over to our other patches, this is the Wagner texture gun. So that's the knockdown that we produced with the Wagner texture. I also did another video you guys can check out. I used the Wagner texture gun for the ceiling after we knocked down the popcorn. So that is the same idea as this. And that was to match the existing texture that we had. It's kind of hard to see it, but the existing texture. And then over here, we use the Wagner texture with a different tip. Sorry, I'm trying not to get this shadow. But it was for the orange peel. So that's, and I probably went a little bit heavy, to be honest. Probably went a little heavy. But that's with the gun the first time around. And then that's with the gun. I'm sorry, that was with the bigger gun. This is with just that Wagner. Now, the other thing I want to point out in another video, I said you don't want a hard line, because if you don't fan it out, then you get a hard line. So this is what it looks like after I wet it down with the wet sponge to try to kill the edge. And then when this side dried up, I actually used a regular sanding sponge and I just rubbed it down a little bit. So I do have some flatter spots, but there's not that hard line once you paint it. Let me back up. Once you paint it, you know, that line should be able to blend in better. And then going down to the bottom here, now this is what you really want. If you can tell here, I masked it off, right? I masked it off tight so you can see the difference, because you want your patches to actually look like this. I feathered in where I went past the patch all the way around it. I went past it, and you know, to have a good repair, you're gonna go past it. So this is the larger patch texture spray. This is the orange peel. We use the Wagner gun and just feathered it all the way out, and it slowly just fades out into the rest of the wall, and that's what you want. You really want it to just fade out, feather out, blend in to the rest of the wall. And then on this side we have the plumbing patch. And if you guys remember what it looked like, it was really rough because I put 2 coats and I was saying that we were underneath the cabinet or something. So I grinded it down when I sand it. But even for it having 2 rough coats, this is the knockdown texture that we did. It's a heavier, thicker pattern. And we just floated it up, blended it in, feathered it in. I mean, I think it looks pretty good for a patch, you know? So, and that's, I mean, to be honest, whether that patch is exposed or not, I think that's pretty good for the way it was so chopped up. If you watch the other video of how we patched it in pieces, because we were acting like it was around the pipes without taking off hoses or disconnecting any of the drain pipes or P-traps. So that's why it was so choppy in that patch. But I think it came out pretty good where you can't even, I'm trying to get out of this light for you guys. You can't even tell, you know, where those patches are once you paint them.